Girl hailed a taxi for her mother at the airport. She never expected to get into her brand new car that cost her tens of thousands of dollars. She broke down and realized the truth at this moment. Her best friend had borrowed the car just to work for a ride-hailing platform. The girl had bought the new car half a year earlier as a gift for her mother. The car sat idle because her mother suffered from poor health. Her best friend asked to borrow the car for a test drive. The girl agreed without hesitation, yet her friend kept the car for a full half year. She made up various excuses every time the girl asked for the car back. The girl and her mother returned from a holiday trip that day. The girl had notified her best friend in advance. She asked the friend to pick them up at the airport. She also wanted her to return the car on the spot. But after they arrived at the airport, her best friend claimed she had just sent the car for maintenance. Left with no choice, the girl booked a car via a ride-hailing app. They waited until the girl's mother nearly got heatstroke before the ride-hailing vehicle finally arrived. The girl was shocked to discover that the ride-hailing car was exactly her own. The driver turned out to be a grumpy heavy man. He yelled at them to get in the car at once and stop delaying his earnings. The girl had to get in the car with her mother. They found the car filled with a terrible stench. The customized interior was also burnt and damaged by cigarette butts. The girl could no longer tolerate it and asked the driver tentatively why he would use such a fine car for ride-hailing work. The driver told her proudly that the car was his wife's dowry gift. He married his wife simply because she had given him this nice car. The driver even complained that all women were vain. He mentioned his wife's female colleague as an example. This colleague often borrowed their car by lying about sick elderly family members. He feared the colleague would borrow the car again over the holiday, so he chose to work ride-hailing shifts. The girl instantly figured out she was exactly that female colleague the driver talked about. She could not believe her best friend had passed her car off as a dowry and framed her as a greedy person. Not wanting to worry her mother, she held back her anger in the car. She planned to settle the score with her best friend later. The driver mistook her active chatting for flirting. After dropping her off at home, he leered at her and asked for her contact information. He offered her free rides in the future. The girl felt utterly disgusted by his behavior. She remembered her best friend always bragged at work about her handsome, wealthy husband. She calmly added the driver's contact. She wanted the so-called perfect husband to witness everything. When she confronted her best friend, she suspected the friend's husband had taken the car without permission. She called her best friend that night. She asked subtly where the car was sent for maintenance, saying she needed the car and would pick it up herself. Her best friend immediately called her petty upon hearing this. She questioned why she made so many calls just over a borrowed car. The girl was enraged by these words. Her friend refused to return the car and even morally blackmailed her. She was about to lose her temper when her friend said the car's maintenance was done but unpaid. She demanded the girl pay the 4,000 yuan maintenance fee if she wanted her car back. She claimed their borrowing had always been fine, and the girl's sudden request was purely greedy. The girl laughed angrily at the absurdity. Her car had been used by her friend for over 6 months, with all fuel and toll fees paid by herself, yet she was now being framed as the one in the wrong. The girl finally realized her best friend had deliberately let her husband take the car. She asked her friend one last time for the car's location. The friend insisted it was still at the repair shop and refused to return it without the maintenance payment. She then hung up the phone abruptly. The friend immediately called her husband afterward. She told him the greedy colleague still wanted to borrow the car and told him to take more orders and stay out that night. They had no idea they had fully angered the girl. The girl located her car through the repair shop system at once. She then booked a tow truck to impound her car directly. The friend's husband was stunned when he returned from the restroom. He shouted that the car belonged to him, with his wallet and phone still inside. The tow truck driver ignored his shouts completely and towed the car away without hesitation.